Greetings, shalom, everyone. Peace. It is dreary out here, but we're here. And, I just want to welcome you all to another Midday Motivation by the Sovereignty. We are going to touch on just a little bit about, you know, resources that are available to you all. I know this channel, like, we deal a lot with, food, preparation of food, but, more importantly, sustaining the health and wellness of family. So I thought that it's really important considering that there are so many different changes and shifts and so on happening right now. Things to pay attention to, mandates to pay attention to, um, you know, benefits that have been cut thus far, and some of those, many people rely on. Um, but there are also other types of benefits that have been made available to many during this time. Within the last year, there has been an increase in the amount of um, food and food resources available to those who are in need. And sometimes you may not always know about where those places are, how to find them. So I really today just wanted to feature Hunter College and the work that they do. And I think I've mentioned it before, but they have created a New York City food resource guide. And those guides kind of give you a breakdown as to where you can go to um, find food within your neighborhood, or you'll be able to share it and give your family and friends the opportunity to actually have access to food that they may not have been able to have access to prior to, or even now, considering there's so many things are shifting and changing, right? Yeah, so there are a couple other things that I wanted to point out, right? With New York City having 800,000 people um, losing certain benefits, right? And, we see prices increasing. That's something I'm going to talk about next strong. The increase in food prices and how that affects, the family and the home, and, what is causing the increase in the increase in the product, right, that we purchase. And for a while I thought it was just, okay, it's price gouging. That's what's happening. But it's a direct effect on dwindling resources, right? Dwindling resources, whether we want to talk about um, farms that have been, just decimated by flooding and so on since last year, farms that have not been put back on at all. Some people who have invested years in farming have lost so much land, so much of their resources, and they just walked away, right? They walked away. So that, of course, has reduced the amount of food available because now we have less farms that are actually up and running. Many did not suffer losses due to floods, but they can't sustain themselves, right? Within the last year, we realized many of them have shut down, but many have also opened as well too. Very small family farms um, have been popping up, and I do believe there lots of funding has been made available for small farms. There's also a huge increase in the amount of melanated people who are um, moving into um, areas where they can farm and plant and sup- support or sustain their family in that way. So, there are shifts and changes and things that are happening, but I felt like some of that was some of that would be helpful for those who are interested. We won't stay on long today, but I definitely want to make sure that by the time we're done, you have a specific place where you can go to identify where to find certain resources to support you and family. Um, I also wanted to note too that I came across an article that was actually speaking about And all of this is related, and it's all related because you know you see how things are shifting and changing, and you realize that more and more. Actually, this was shared with me earlier, that there's a particular type of mindset or mode that's being created, an environment that's being created, um, and it's one of misery, right? It's one of poverty. Everything that you read about right now that's happening is um, is going to cause or create a space where there'll be havoc and there'll be a lot of scrambling and for resources, whether regardless of what type of resources. Um, so I felt that, it's important to think about all of the other things that are occurring and happening because of this scramble and because of, yeah, what's coming, right? Um, I read an article that indicated that there's a very popular fast food um, restaurant that's actually in Oregon. They're seeking to employ, right now they're seeking to employ 14 and 15-year-old youth, between 14 and 15 specifically, and they're willing to take the older people, but their focus is 14 to 15 years old because they're looking for young people who will comply. They're looking for young people who will obviously feel as if there's a threat, and they are at their wits' end when it comes to finding resources, so they'll definitely buckle, right? They'll buckle under the pressure of mandated inoculations and other things. So I just, I was totally blown away because I said to myself, well, if you're 14 and 15, yes, you're looking for employment to support you in some ways, but you're also, oh, wow, that's interesting. But you're also focused, or should be focused on, education at this time, or learning about business and creating your own business, right? So it's a distraction. There's also a surge in food prices, not just here, not just in the state where you are in, but it's global, right? And it's almost like you think it's because of inflation, but there are other things happening when it comes to just considering resources and what resources are available to us. So I just found it interesting. I wanted to share a little bit about that. I'm just going to jump back to what I really wanted to share, which is the food resources that may be available to you in your area or in your neighborhood. And just a little bit, the resources I'm pulling from are from the New York City um, Neighborhood Food Resources, which is a database maintained by Hunter College. Hunter College they have been working on and with New York City food policy for a very long time, and they have created resources that shows community districts and the different cities. I think they have about 59 different districts and profiles where you're able to look through all of the food resources within the community, right? So for those of you who are in, and again, I think I shared a little bit about this before, but I'll go into a bit of detail for the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens and Staten Island. For those of you, I'll just share a few of them, and I'll make sure to put the link in the bio. For those of you who are in the surrounding states and if you're interested in finding a resource such as the one I'm sharing now, which is specific to New York, please leave a comment in the chat or the comment section after. I keep saying chat, in the comment section after. And what I will do is I will make sure to find that resource for your state and city, and I will provide a link to it so that way you can share the video with those who are close to you. That way, you can find those resources if you need to at all. All right. I'll start with Staten Island. Staten Island only has about three, and I won't go through all of the zip codes, but the community areas that are covered are Stapleton, South Beach, and Tottenville. And for Queens, I'll just share that Elmhurst has a city council district, and they have, I'll share with you how many of their resources. They have a few resources here, supermarkets and delis and so on, where you can find the support that you need when it comes to food resources and finding food resources within your community. I said Elmhurst, right? Flushing, Whitestone, Jackson Heights is also available, and Kew Gardens. These are all very popular places. If you are in New York City, you probably find that some of these neighborhoods are familiar. For Manhattan, Central Harlem, Clinton, the financial district, and even Greenwich Village has resources on here. Several zip codes are covered too. So, again, I'm sharing the names just to pull you in, but the list and the link will be in the bio and the description of the video, just to make it easy for you to look or select based on where you are. Brooklyn covers Park Slope, South Crown Heights, Flatbush, East New York, East Flatbush, Crown Heights. I said Crown Heights already. Canarsie, Coney Island, long list, right? All of these are familiar to me. And then for the Bronx, we have Mott Haven, Highbridge, Fordham, Pelham, Hunts Point, and so on. So, again, food resources in your community, super important to know where they are and know how to access them. All of the links to these different community districts and their the community resources, food resources for your community will be in the description. And that's it. I just wanted to do a quick share today just to, highlight that there's a lot happening globally. I'm always looking at things through the lens of food resources and nutrition. And so sometimes those things, they're all markers within our culture and our community to see what's happening. And it's really important to pay attention to, again, the dwindling resources, the sky high prices of food and some of the commodities that we utilize. Very important to pay attention to it. And you may think there's nothing that you can do about it, but I beg to differ. I beg to differ. One of the most important things that we can do is find communities that we can identify as our community and stick with that community and build within that community. Um, and not just building within that community and sitting in the middle of Babylon going like, we good. No, really pulling away and focusing on developing a community that can sustain itself. All right. And, that means acquiring skills and, making sure that we sharpen our skills when it comes to creating, developing, making, and producing things, being innovative with ideas that we have and actually, applying some of those ideas. So again, this is all I wanted to share today. I felt that it would bring value to those of you who are interested. And again, if you have questions about resources in your area, please just share in the comment section below. Peace and power to everyone. Wellness is yours. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just dig up everybody because I didn't even notice anyone in the chat. I'm looking, but I can't see everything. So peace, Padmini144, peace, welcome. All right. Sister Naya, greetings, and Ima Precious. All right. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you all again. Peace and power to you.